Hey, it's Sly Jones. Welcome back to my channel. Very quickly, I want to send out a huge thanks for the positive feedback and encouragement I've received so far. I posted my first video over a week ago, and I've got mostly positive feedback. And for all the people that liked and subscribed and stuck around, I want to say thank you. I really appreciate you. And if you're a new watcher, please subscribe. I will try to put out at least 3 videos a week. I may not be the fastest, but I do want to be accurate and make sure that any information I give you is correct. So I do want to thank you and share on social media so we can get more like-minded people together and continue the conversation. All right, so today's topic, I want to talk about the buzz surrounding the rumor that actor Idris Elba is being considered to replace Daniel Craig as 007 once Craig's contract expires in 2019. Now, while fans of Idris Elba are excited at the prospect of seeing the Wire star take the reins from Craig, others feel like this potential decision is another example of Hollywood forcing diversity for the sake of being progressive. In this video, I'm going to give a little history about the Black Bond controversy and hopefully change your mind if you're on the side of those who think that this may be another social justice sucker move. I'm going to give my reasons why I think this may not be the case. All right, so to give you the history, those of you who didn't know, the Idris 007 rumor started started a while back. Now, in September 2015, Anthony Horowitz, the current author of Bond, said that Idris wouldn't be his first choice because he was too hood, or too, what was the word he used? Too street. Well, I guess over here in the United States it'd be too hood or too gangster. Now, he said that his choice for the role was another black British actor named Adrian Lester, who he thought was a little more suave and maybe debonair than Elba. He eventually ended up apologizing for his poor choice of words, but there are many other Bond fans who agreed with him. Now let's take it back to 2014. Remember the Sony email hack? Senior executive Amy Pascal over at Sony revealed her hope that Idris would be the next Bond as well. Now, you may not have known this, but I'm going to take the Bond buzz all the way back to 2004. And it wasn't Elba this time. This time the rumor swirled around a black British actor by the name of Colin Salmon, who's currently playing the role of General Zod, if you've ever seen the Krypton series on Sci-Fi. He also had a role in Resident Evil and on the WB series Arrow. Some in the British media were convinced that he was such a shoo-in for the role that they reported it as such, but they reported wrongly. The role eventually went to Pierce Brosnan. Now, Colin didn't go quietly into the sunset. Now, Mr. Salmon was cast as an MI6 staffer by the name of Charlie, who got a part in Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day. And he also had the opportunity to play James Bond in screen tests for the actresses playing out for the role in Die Another Day. That had to be one of the best jobs in Hollywood. All right, so again, another thing you may not have known about Colin is that he got the nod to take over the role of 007 from none other than Pierce Brosnan himself. Brosnan was quoted as saying that he thought that Salmon would be ideal to take over the role, but of course that didn't happen. So again, the prospect of a black Bond is nothing new. Neither is the commotion around the idea. With the most aggressive complaints coming from young, white, conservative males who accuse the movie studios of forcing gender and racial inclusivity instead of simply picking the best person for the job. Now, while watching Star Wars The Last Jedi, or after watching Star Wars The Last Jedi, I can appreciate their concerns. I took my mother to see The Last Jedi, just on a side note, and even she's thought through the feminist tropes and the social justice virtue signaling. It was like it was more important for the studio to make a political statement than to tell a good story. So I understand where they're coming from. to a certain extent. Now, some of these guys accuse the studios of pandering to liberals because the Hollywood elite are upset over a Trump presidency and think the studios are retaliating against them by ostracizing white men and replacing them and their roles with women and people of color. But in the case of 007, this time, I don't think it's true. Now, you have some Bond purists who, again, I listen to both sides of the argument. And one of the best arguments that I heard from their side of the track is that in 1958, Ian Fleming commissioned a rough sketch of what he thought Bond should look like. A tall, slender, square-jawed, middle-aged Caucasian man who was actually modeled after a real guy, U.S. composer Hoagie Carmichael. Now, these guys say that that's all the evidence they need. This was the creator's vision. That's all we need. Bond is white. Well, again, I don't mind having the debate. But some of these guys, I hate to say, take things a little bit too far. Like when Black Panther got cast, when Captain Marvel was announced, Batgirl, and even more recently, the Titans live action series, there was immediate outrage from 4chan to Facebook to Twitter. It was just this barrage of, now I remember back in the Force Awakens days, oh, there can't be a black stormtrooper. Now I'm hearing on my Twitter, oh, there can't be a black 007, there can't be a black Starfire. Now, not all of these fans are white, young conservatives, but there is a good number of these young men and women who post really racist and sexist memes every time something like this happens. For instance, the picture of T'Challa holding a watermelon. I know y'all remember that on the Black Panther movie poster. These are the same people that create fake accounts, fake Rotten Tomatoes accounts, hoping to sabotage a movie or leave negative comments. And what's sad is these bozos end up drowning out the voices of the fans that have your legitimate concerns. They attach themselves to people like Geeks and Gamers. They attach themselves to people like Ethan Van Sciver. And I would never accuse Jeremy over at the Quartering, Doomcock, or any of these guys of being racist. Now, I don't agree with all of everything they say, but as of this point, I haven't heard them say anything specifically racist that I felt like was offensive. But there are people that attach themselves to the community. Just like the SJWs on the other side, we have toxic fans on our side too. And they're kind of hard to purge. And what happens is, once they attach themselves to, say, a Geeks and Gamers community, then all of a sudden the whole community gets accused of being these racist Nazis, when it's not true. And these guys say some pretty ridiculous things too. I heard somebody say that 007, that a black 007 can't be 007. Give him a spinoff, make him a sidekick, make him 008, 009 and 3/4. Just not 007 James Bond. I've even heard that a black Bond would be a bad influence on black kids because he's an alcoholic womanizer with a gun. Well, I never knew at any point that 007 was supposed to be a good influence on any kids, but then again, hey, it's my Twitter feed, so I just repeat what I read. Now, here's where I really want to get to the meat of this. I want to send a message to the people that think that Idris Elba being considered for 007 is just another social justice warrior move. I realize that it's not just white males concerned. Again, I've heard different opinions from fans of all different backgrounds concerning why they don't think he should take the role. I'm going to tell you 5 reasons why I think he should and make a case. Number 1, 007 is a fictional character. He's not real. Nothing he does on screen will affect your personal life. Brits should really get over this, especially since you do have, at least a half black member of the royal family in Windsor Castle now. And we've had a black president. I mean, there's just certain things that after time in history, you just have to kind of get over. Number 2, what if Mr. Elba auditions for the role and blows away the competition? Would you be okay with it then? What else would he have to do at that point to prove himself worthy of the role? Number 3, the dude is an alpha dog. Now, men want to be him. Women want him in them. In this day and age where masculinity and bravado and machismo and more are more and more frowned upon, won't you be glad to have an unapologetic male on the screen, regardless of his color? Not one of these non-binary, pansexual, metrosexual unicorns, but a real man. There's no question that women will show up, because ladies love Idris Elba. And it's no secret that some women find Daniel Craig unattractive or unappealing. So a younger, more attractive leading man, regardless of his background, will bring more women to the theater, which means more money. And at the end of the day, money talks. Number 4, I feel your pain. I empathize with you a little bit. Now, if you watch my second video, I talked about A Wrinkle in Time. I talked about Ghostbusters 2016. I talked about Solo, why they all flopped, and why The Last Jedi was just a feminine social experiment on gender studies. I broke down how this PC trend is killing studios financially, and hope that the same forced equality doesn't continue to wreck our favorite franchises. I just don't think that it's the case here. I am personally boycotting Star Wars Episode 9 for that very reason, so believe me, I get it. But let's go to number 5. Number 5. Here's a quote from the man himself, and I want you to see how classy he was in handling the question about being the first black Bond. Now pay attention. In 2011, Mr. Elba was quoted as saying, "I don't want to be the black James Bond. Sean Connery wasn't the Scottish James Bond, and Daniel Craig wasn't the blue-eyed James Bond. So if I played him, I don't want to be the black James Bond." Okay, so what that should tell you about him is, first, like I say, he's a really classy guy, and he's not out crusading for social justice. He's not out pandering for the role or begging anybody to make him the next Bond. And he's always come across to me as the kind of guy that just wants to make a living, and I can respect that. I don't think he should turn down good work, and I believe that he's wise and mature enough at this point in his career that he won't allow himself to be exploited by studio just for the sake of forcing diversity. I think he's smarter than that, and he can stand on his own 2 feet. So if the role presents itself, I encourage him to take it, regardless of what anyone thinks. So long as it's well written. That's important. All right, so tell me what you think in the comments. Again, this is a fairly new channel, so any help I can get would be appreciated. You can like, share, subscribe, or if you want to support my Patreon, you'll learn a little bit about me and my goals for the channel in the near future. So thanks so much. God bless, and I'll see you soon.